Hey folks, Allman here. You know, I don't claim to know a whole lot about sports. I mean, I do know a little bit about waterboarding, but that's about it. But when it comes to facts, yeah, I'm pretty good about facts. And when it comes to facts, there are a few people who just aren't. Let's face it. They shouldn't be operating heavy machinery, especially when you're a moonbat drunk on your own moon battery. Some of them are in print and some of them are on the air. The one in print is Brian Burwell, who now, well, he doesn't admit it. He made his bosses admit that he knew nothing about this Rush Limbaugh claim to support slavery. He knew nothing about the facts surrounding what Limbaugh said and what he didn't. So Big Bad Burwell makes a mistake. Who owns up to it? His editors in the Post-Dispatch decide they're the ones who are going to have to retract the article that he wrote, bashing Rush Limbaugh. Of course, Burwell isn't the only one who's had to publicly admit, or should publicly admit, they're total idiots. Burwell didn't do it. Yeah, he made his bosses do it. But the two guys on MSNBC and CNN had to.
On a related note, earlier this week, we provided quotes attributed to Limbaugh to illustrate why some people and players felt that he was too divisive to be an NFL owner. It was one of the stories we did earlier this week. One of these quotes, which was in a column in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and taken from a book largely about conservatives, was refuted by Limbaugh. I mentioned that to you Tuesday. We have been unable to independently confirm that quote. We should not have reported it without independent confirmation. And for that, I apologize.
And Cameron, speaking of influence, we do have an update involving talk show host Rush Limbaugh and the controversy over his effort helped buy an NFL football team. Limbaugh denies, he said, quote, slavery has its merits. It was a quote that appeared on MSNBC this past Monday and Tuesday. MSNBC attributed that quote to a football player who was opposed to Limbaugh's NFL bid. However, we have been unable to verify that quote.
Of course, it'd be nice to see if Burwell could just simply go ahead and have the courage and write his own article that apologizes or retracts his statement. That would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? But for now, Burwell's letting his editors clean up his slop. Rush Limbaugh's response? He ought to sue these guys. Big time. He ought to put them where they belong. They don't belong in TV. They don't belong in print. They belong in a homeless shelter. Sue him, Rush. Oh, touchdown, biatches.